particular, but here I am just trying to make sure everything is seeable for you guys. Okay, so welcome to this full moon in Leo, beautiful souls. Honestly, this full moon is quite exciting just because it's all about embracing our authentic selves and embracing the true meaning of self-empowerment, the true meaning of self-expression, and just learning how to be yourself unapologetically, which is what this time is going to be all about. So I have all my little notes here, and today I actually felt very, very called to kind of loosen the brakes I usually have a tendency of putting on myself, and I'm really going to try to do this as intuitively as possible. I still have all my notes here in terms of things that I'm going to be doing to navigate this, and especially with the surprise guided visualization practice that we're going to get to dive into together at the end of this, towards the end of this healing circle. However, aside from that, it's all going to be the same, and I'm very excited to dive into this with you guys today. Not to mention, today I felt extremely called to make some sort of theme with angels. I don't know why, but I felt very called to have some angelic healing energy here. So, in terms of the tarot deck that we're going to be using to do the collective reading in the middle of this live stream, we're going to be using my Archangel Power Tarot cards, as well as we're going to get to pull a card out, or in other words, a postcard from Spirit, to see what Source has to tell us. God, universe, whatever you want to call it, it's all about unconditional love, right? It's all about light, healing, energy. At the end of the day, we're all here to align with that essence, right? God is inside all of us, or Source is inside all of us, universe, whatever you want to call it, it exists inside us all. And with this full moon in Leo, it's all about embracing that, embracing the true power that we all hold inside of us. In reality, we all have an ability to become the version of ourselves that maybe we've always died to embody in this lifetime. But it's a matter of releasing the things that aren't serving us that's going to allow us to be able to get there, right? And when it comes to full moons, it's letting you have a beautiful opportunity to be able to release anything that is getting in your way from being able to honor that truth for yourself, to step into your true light, the spotlight, in other words, right? We want to be able to embody the energy of the main character in our life. It's very important, especially when it comes to this full moon. And not to mention, you guys need to remember something. When it comes to full moons and new moons and the phases and the cycles, right? In reality, it's a 6-month thing, right? 6 months ago, or give or take, I think around the very beginning of August 2024, that was when the new moon in Leo took place. This is now the follow-up of that new moon in Leo, which is the full moon in Leo here. So if you guys maybe didn't even realize that was a thing, maybe you guys had no clue there was a new moon in Leo during that time, I highly encourage you guys to definitely do some inner reflecting with this. Ask yourself, what did you gain during these last 6 months in your life? What new personal growth themes showed up for you? What were you encouraged to step into in terms of a newer version of you? What layers were you encouraged to shed during this time that had to do with personal empowerment, authenticity, and honoring you unapologetically? Okay, you guys got to remember, when it comes to Leo, right? It rules the sun. It rules the star that warms everything up on here. Okay? Without the sun, we wouldn't be here, which is why Leos have a bad rap of being a little bit self-centered, am I right? But, and I can only say that joke, if anyone here is a Leo listening to this, I can only say that joke because I myself am a Leo, so, just saying, anyone that is a Leo, sending you love, okay? Just know that joke came from a nice place. But, moving forward, when it comes to this Leo energy, we also got to remember, every zodiac sign in astrology rules a certain body part. And it just so happens Leos rule the heart. With that in mind, this full moon in Leo is about connecting to that, connecting to your passion, connecting to your light, right? The heart is all about intuition. When you want to follow your heart, you also want to follow your gut. You want to follow those intuitive nudges that you kind of feel like you get every once in a while. That's kind of a nice little bit of a whisper in your ear. When the difference between following our heart, right, and following something or listening to something that has to do with anxiety, it's actually a big difference. When it comes to anxiety, it yells, it nags, and it messes with our head. We are going to be nonstop thinking about it excessively, and it might actually make us hesitant to want to make that decision. That's the difference between anxiety, because when it comes to listening to your heart, listening to your intuition, listening to your inner knowing, or in other words, God, the God inside of you, right? Or universe, source, like I said, whatever you want to call it, beautiful soul. This is where you hear the whisper. It feels like you kind of know already what it's trying to tell you, but you're still like, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard to want to listen to that, even though we know that is the right thing to do, even though we feel like, yeah, this is where I'm meant to go. And when it comes to this full moon in Leo, we have an opportunity to release anything that's holding us back from being able to listen to those truths so that we can fully align, fully embody the power that we really hold in this life. Remember, the sun is a very powerful thing. It's got solar flares, it's got explosions, it's got lots of fire, lava crap on it. Excuse my language. So, what does that mean for us? We gotta embody that. We gotta embody the fire. We gotta embody the passion. We gotta embody the strength of it that it actually takes inside of a person to go courageously follow their heart. You know how scary it actually is to follow our hearts, right? Anyone who says, they wear their emotions on their sleeve, they're a baby. Like, in reality, to be vulnerable, to show your truth, to honor those feelings, to honor those emotions, that's the real strength here. Once we're able to willingly, right? There's a key word here, willingly, take off the armor that has been holding us back from being able to honor our true potential. That's the power. And that's where your true strength lies. That's where you can go accomplish anything you want in this lifetime. So with that in mind, let us definitely keep diving into this. I have so much things I want to dive into when it comes to the astrological transits. Anything that is kind of importance that I want you guys to be aware of today and also to keep in mind moving forward, right? There's going to be a couple things that I wanted to share with you when it comes to planets and what they're transiting into soon. Actually, in particular, I'm talking about, I believe, Mercury. Let me check my notes here really quickly. Mercury, yep, I was on the nose with that. Mercury is actually entering Pisces 2 days from now. So on February 14th, Mercury is entering Pisces. And right now, Mercury is in the sign of Aquarius. What that means, and not to mention too, it is Aquarius season. So happy birthday to any Aquarius babies out there watching this. I just wanted to mention that also means that this full moon is opposite the sun right now. What is that telling us, right? We need to listen to embody that authentic inner self, right? We need to honor our truth. We need to step into our power, right? Step into the light, the limelight in reality. But we also need to work on finding a harmony or an ability to integrate that desire to do that with the collective's needs as well. I know it sounds a little bit wonky. I'm going to explain it a little bit better for you guys. So Aquarius is the polar opposite of Leo, okay? They're polar opposite signs. Aquarius is air, and Aquarius is a lot more heady than Leo. Leo's more emotionally based. Leo is more raw emotions, and it can be pretty intense, right? Like I said, the sun, they can be pretty intense. But Aquarius is intense in their own way, but it's quiet. That's the best way I guess I can explain it. Maybe my head's just giving me visions and I'm like trying to share it to you guys, but that is the best way that I can explain it right now, okay? And with that though, this full moon being opposite this sign, that is the complete opposite of what Leo is trying to teach us. It's about finding the harmony in the middle. And it's also here to remind us of the utter importance, of the utter significance that trying to honor and embody your truth and your power really holds in this lifetime. Guys, you guys need to remember, when we are embodying our authenticity, when we are in our most strongest state that we can possibly be in life, we are showing to people, we are encouraging people, we are inspiring people around us to do the same. The more you heal, the more you level up, the more you transform, the more you allow yourself to fully show up as you, wholly, entirely you, you are going to get to show people the real strength that lies there. The more that we can get others to get out of their shell by being unapologetically 110,000% us, the more we get to create a ripple effect in this world that shows to people how important it really is to be in our truth. We shouldn't be faking it for the masses. We shouldn't be trying to fit in a certain mold. We should embrace the inner, I guess you can say, black sheep inside all of us, right? There's that one black sheep in the herd, and we are meant to be that. And it's okay to be different. And that's what Leos love. We need to do it boldly, and we got to do it willingly, right? With that as well, so aside from the full moon opposing the sun, I did mention Mercury entering Pisces, and I didn't actually dive into it. So in 2 days from now, Mercury is going to be shifting into Pisces. Like I said, it is currently in Aquarius. What that means, the logical, the overthinking. If you guys have been experiencing for the last 3 to 2-ish weeks, a lot of headiness, a lot of like, oh my God, but what about this? What about that? Blah, 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 blah. That's literally the energy of Aquarius, and Aquarius can be doing that to some people. Like I said, I'm a Leo, so it is very much yeah, I just messed up my words. It very much has been messing with me pretty well, but thank goodness, in 2 days from now, Mercury is transiting and switching over into Pisces. What does this mean for us, right? It is about it is going to give us an opportunity to be able to have more of those heartfelt conversations. Any wisdom that we gain during the Mercury being in Aquarius, we're going to get to start applying it when Mercury enters Pisces. We're going to feel more guided to connect to it more in an artistic or creative way. So anything also that we gain, or you guys are going to get to gain out of this full moon ceremony, this is 2 days from now, you're going to have a beautiful opportunity to start putting it on paper, to start putting it out of you, to start planting the actual seeds, to start taking those next steps forward, right? This full moon gives you an opportunity to release anything that's holding you back from being able to take your next step forward, right? And this is what we're going to get to do today. Anything else I want to share with you? Yes. Okay, so there is a little bit of I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not a warning, but it's more so, I don't like to say the word but there is a little bit of a but factor to this full moon. And what I mean by this is the full moon is also square Uranus right now, and Uranus is in Taurus. What this means is that normally, you know that saying when people say, when something crazy happens in their life and they're like, oh, it's because maybe there was a full moon, or they like kind of blame it on the full moon. Like when people are having some chaos happen in their life, they're like, oh, dang, it was that full moon, Rick. Or you know what I'm talking about? So since this full moon is actually squaring Uranus in Taurus, the sign of stability, right? It's like really, I see Taurus as a turtle. It's a bull technically, but literally Tauruses, like they act like they got their SHIT together, or at least they try to. They can be very grounded in their ways when they're not overthinking in the background, but we're not going to talk about that because Tauruses do not like to show that side of themselves to anybody. Let's continue though. Yes, since this full moon is square that sign, and it's in Uranus, the planet of revolution and rebellion, and like literally the Tower card in tarot, that's how I see Uranus. This is kind of warning us to be flexible. Something might shift in your life during the next 7 to 10 days where you're going to be like having a whoa factor. you're being encouraged during this transit, during this time, especially with this full moon in Leo, to be more flexible, right? Leos are fixed signs in nature. They're very, very stubborn. They're all or nothing beings. So there might be something in your life that you are very hard-headed on, and you might be encouraged for the next, during the next 7 to 10 days to have a shift in perspective, or be a little bit, I don't like this word, but I'm going to use it because for some reason it wants to come out, loosey-goosey with it. Ew, I don't even like that it came out of my mouth. I'm like hearing it, and I was like, nope, but we're going to keep going with it. Yes, you're being more encouraged to be more loosey-goosey, adaptable, flexible, and be more willing to surrender rather than try to control, right? Remember, full moon is about releasing. If you guys feel like you have a tendency to want to always be rigid in nature when something is important to you, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but how are you gonna let universe, how are you gonna let source, God, how are you gonna show to all of that you have true belief in it, that you have true faith in those things if you're trying to control, right? We need to have a nice balance. So with this full moon squared Uranus, that's what it's all about. It's just reminding us, look, something might shift and you need to have a heads up about it. Like have a little bit of a heed my call type of thing. And that's what we're trying to go with now. Moving forward though, let me see if there is absolutely anything else. Okay, yeah. Well, this one's not too big, but it's just as big at the same time. The sun is conjunct Mercury right now. But like I said, 2 days from now, Mercury is going to shift over to Pisces. So what this means is that this is just giving us a really good opportunity to be logical with ourselves one last time before it does that jump over to Pisces. So during this full moon, take it as an opportunity to learn a little bit more about yourself, understand yourself a little bit better before it makes that switch over. And with that in mind, we are going to start moving into the reading and the collective energy to see, as a collective group, whoever comes across this, what we are being called to release for this powerful full moon in Leo. So that is exactly what we're going to look into together. And I have a lot of cards here. I wanted to share them so you guys know what's going on. So we are going to be using, like I told you, I was in some angelic energy today. I felt called to bring that into the circle. So I believe that there is good reason for that. And we're going to be using my Archangel Power Tarot cards. We're going to be doing Guardian Angel cards as well. My Let Go deck. And like I said, postcards from Spirit. All right. Let us definitely take a look at that together. And just to remind you guys, okay, before we dive into this together. So this full moon is calling us to remember who we are and who we've always been. I'm going to take that card out because there's got to be a reason for that. Oh my God, that's so funny that came out, but let's just keep going. What this means is that we are being called to reclaim parts of ourselves that maybe have been lost or hidden behind all those extra layers that we like to build up over our light throughout time. At the end of the day, we all came onto this planet with so much purity, so much innocence, and so much full heart. And we, as a collective, with this full moon, we are being called to remember where we've all come from at the end of the day, which is true unconditional love. You know, when we were babies, we didn't want to do harm onto anything, okay? All we knew was that we have this, there's something that loves us, or there's something that wants to take care of us, or we were just kind of confused. But one thing I know for certain is that we all had hearts. Before we built our ego, before the mind, before the criticism, before the overthinking became a thing, we all had hearts. The heart knows better than the mind because of that truth. We all came onto this planet, like I said, with a heart. The brain had to develop over time. So if you guys ever start doubting it, if you guys ever think, oh, your dreams, whatever, they're not that big of a deal. I'm telling you right now, I always tell people this, and I will honor this till I die. If you are ever torn or confused or unsure what to do in your life because you feel like you need to choose between your head and your heart, always, 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 no matter what happens, go with your heart. And the reason why I say that is because even if you have no clue, even if it terrifies you, going with your heart means that you will never regret taking a chance because you are always honoring your truth. You are always honoring what you wanted to do. If we follow our life path that way, Source is automatically going to take us to where we want to be, but we got to keep trusting it. Even if things don't work out the exact way that we were hoping for, right? Hope is such a big word, but we put too much expectation on ourselves and we put too much expectation on what's going to happen. And this is where we got to release the control. How are we able to coexist with this unknowingness of life and the stuff we can control and let it all become some beautiful marinade of exactly what our hopes and dreams and everything, rainbows and butterflies are meant to become, if we can't do that, if we can't let it unfold in the way that it's meant to, to get to the other side in life, to get to the end of the rainbow, we got to do with some traveling, guys. The rainbow is a whole thing, right? We're at the beginning of it, but we got to take that journey to get to the other side, to find that pot of gold, metaphorically speaking. So we need to be more allowing of that, more allowing of obstacles. If you trip, it doesn't mean that your life is over. It means that, hey, Source just wants to show you can get back up, but 10 times stronger. Who are you to put that restraint on you when in reality, maybe this life experience, you were meant to accomplish so much more for yourself, but because you held yourself back, but because you doubted yourself, you're never going to get to know that. You're never going to get to experience that other way of your life because of how hard you doubted yourself. That is a good example of what you could release during this full moon in Leo. And I don't know if anyone saw this, but did anyone see that? That has never happened to me. That was hilarious. I'm so happy I caught this so I can rewatch this and laugh at myself later. Give me 1 second while I take a sip of my tea. But I do believe that is there's a very important reason why that happened. So while I started shuffling, the card that came out was the Peace card. The number 13, in other words, death in tarot. So it says, release the past. There is a more enriching future. Oh my God, guys, I was literally talking about this the entire time. There is a more enriching future coming. Let's go and let's God. And the second I looked at my camera stream, I just saw the numbers at the top and it says 2323. 5-5. There is change happening. Change. And it's about embracing that, trusting in the process. Release the need to control every little thing, right? Perfectionism is only a thing that we created for ourselves because everyone has their own definition of perfectionism, and that is the complete opposite of embodying the Leo energy. The fact that this card literally shot across the room and while I was shuffling, it just popped out like nothing. I feel like there is a lot of angelic energy here. There's got to be a reason why I felt so called to make this angel themed, right? There's just so much healing. There's just so much love. It feels like this moon is about holding so much hope for all of us to remember the truth. And the truth is that we are love. We are light. And in reality, we are joy because we get to experience joy whenever we want. It's about connecting to the inner child that exists inside of us all. Leos are all about the 5th house in astrology. The 5th house is of play. It's of creativity. It's about not taking things too serious. It's about letting loose and just being you. Be the dramatic you. Be the extravagant you. Who the F cares? what labels people put on you. There's always going to be those labels, but at the end of the day, what matters is that you get to go to sleep every night knowing I was 100% me. I got to honor me to the fullest today because I did not hold myself back from nothing. That's what matters at the end of the day. And the fact that we got peace, the number 13, right? That's about death. That's about transformation. This is about renewal. It's about trusting in this time. And it really, I think, giving you guys a huge opportunity to do some releasing. I did not mention this earlier and I just remembered, but I really want to keep in mind, if you guys happen to not be able to be here for a long amount of time, if you guys know you need to leave early, just know the energy of a full moon lasts for a total of 5 days after it's at its highest peak. Since it happened in the AM of today, and what I mean by AM was at night, like I think around 2 a.m. it was at its highest peak in Eastern Standard Time, depending on where you live in the world. You have a total of another 5 days to honor that energy and take advantage of it. So like if you don't have time to be here for the guided visualization practice at the end of this ceremony, I do highly encourage you guys to listen to it and use your journal, take notes, because connecting to our inner child is a very beautiful gift. It's a very beautiful thing. And in reality, with the surprise guided meditation and visualization practice that I created for today's healing circle, I wanted it to be all about Leo, right? And all about that energy. So we're going to my God, my words messed up. We're going to get to gain some very beautiful insight from our inner childs today. And I was telling myself, do not spoil this, Ahimsa, but I guess I did. And it's going to be very, very exciting. But in order to do that, let us keep shuffling and see what wants to get released within us all as a collective right now. What is this full moon in Leo encouraging us to release at this time? So let us take a look with my Archangel power cards. What are we being called to collectively release for this full moon in Leo? What are we being called to collectively release for this full moon in Leo? And I did forget to mention, guys, if anyone does, I hope that I am still there. I hope I am still there. Sorry, my alarm just went off. I always forget to shut off that alarm on my phone. But if you guys do happen to use the chat, I just want to let you know that I have no clue how to access it. I just started doing live streams, so I'm sorry if anyone is sending me messages. I do not know how to check it because I'm not using the YouTube app itself to do this live stream. I'm using an whatever it's called, the connecting whatever. But let us take a look. So, wow, okay, the back of the deck energy that we have in terms of what we are all being called to collectively release for this full moon in Leo, we have no other but the Strength card with the lion. If this is not a sign that we are meant to embody the inner lion inside us all, I don't know what is. And it says strength and grace through kindness, self-confidence, that magical keyword when it comes to full moon in Leo, and forgiveness. I actually am getting a random channel message, and I don't normally get these because I'll be so focused on making this perfect, but I was like, let's sit back and let's make this as raw as possible because you guys deserve those things, right? We need to allow source to come through organically, especially when it comes to full moon healing circles. The channel message that I'm getting here, I don't know if everyone needs to hear it. I don't know if someone needs to hear it specifically that's listening. You need to forgive yourself like crazy right now. You have been so hard on yourself, so ridiculously hard on yourself. And it has not been doing you any good, and you know that. It has been holding you back from being able to do something specific. Don't know what it is. Like I said, this could be for one specific person that's watching right now. But it held you back from doing something. Like you didn't have, I'm hearing, the guts to do something, and you're like kind of hating on yourself for it, and you're being called to let that go and trust that there is a reason, that's a lesson now and something that you can grow from and gain wisdom from, so you can know what not to do moving forward when another opportunity like that comes up again, because I do see another opportunity coming up. If you guys thought it was the end all be all, it is not. There is going to be another opportunity. Let us continue into this collective reading though. I'm just going to take a quick sip of my tea. Okay, so with that in mind, we have the Page of Ariel, also known as the Page of Wands, but it did come up in reverse. Okay, so it came up this way. And the words at the bottom, it says, an excellent opportunity will be offered to you, scholarships or the pursuit of education, time to get to work. And I messed that up. It is the Page of Pentacles. All right, Page of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Death card with the 8 of Cups and the Moon card. Beautiful. And then, like I said, Strength as the back of the deck. Beautiful souls, in terms of what we are being called to release as a collective for this full moon in Leo, we are being called to release every single possible thing that has been holding you back at this very moment from doing something courageous, from doing something bold, from honoring who we are meant to be. And I'm hearing again, if you were to do this, if you were to take this opportunity to release what is no longer serving you right now, you are going to get a little bit closer to the life you've always wanted to live. I'm not hearing you're going to get there 100%, but you're going to take like 25% more forward, I guess, if that makes sense. At least that's what I'm hearing in my head. And it's going to feel very beautiful. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just showing me like you think that you're not capable with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, but then it's all like a disguise. Like not a disguise, an illusion. It's all an illusion over your head right now. You're really making yourself think that you are incapable of something. That's the same message that keeps continuously coming up. It just keeps coming up, this idea that somebody is terrified. And there's like, I don't know if there's fear of rejection, but we are all just being called to take that veil off right now and step into our light, step into the thing that we know is going to get us from A to B, where we actually want to go in life. And it is the truth. It is the light inside us all. With that in mind, let us take a look at the oracle cards. So I feel called to do my guardian angel deck, so that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to get a let go card, and then we're going to do a postcard from Spirit. I'm debating, though, if I want to do the postcard from Spirit after the visualization practice, because I feel like that'll be a beautiful way to end the ceremony. So I think I actually might do that. I feel like there's a reason why I'm being nudged to go that route, and that is what I will honor in terms of what Source is asking me to do for you guys. So let us take a look at the final oracle cards for now before we dive into our beautiful guided visualization practice in honor, in essence, aligned with this full moon in Leo. So what messages are being called to come up during this beautiful full moon in Leo? What guardian angel messages are coming up for this beautiful full moon in Leo, for whoever ends up reading this, hearing this, listening to this? What are they meant to be told at this moment? Us as a collective. Okay. Interestingly enough, I feel called to get 2 cards, so I will stick with that number. So the 2 cards we got from the guardian angels is inspiration, which is beautiful, creativity, right? A wave of inspiration and a stream of beautiful ideas are about to enter your aura. It is important that you trust your intuition at this time. Pay attention to unusual thoughts that come to your mind and do not discount your imagination. Oh, this is beautiful. I feel like this is kind of preparing us mentally for the visualization practice we're about to do. Many wonderful ideas which have served humanity were initially scoffed at or ridiculed. Exactly. We, your guardian angels, will help you discover ways to apply your ideas and manifest new realities for your life. That's exactly what this reading is about. It's telling us, like, we have an opportunity to flip the script on its head. Like, I don't know what it was you guys were trying to manifest, and you, like, doubted it so hard. And it's like Source is coming back here with this full moon in Leo at full swing saying, yo, like, if you release this and you tell yourself you're actually worthy of getting there, watch what happens. It's like you're getting another shot at something, and it's so exciting. It's so beautiful to think about. And I do think this is kind of trying to prepare us mentally for what's about to come up in the visualization practice. I feel like this is warning us, like, look, there's going to be a very important message you're about to hear in this visualization practice, and it's only if you listen. So that's very beautiful. The second to last deck, yeah. But the last card we have here from the Guardian Angel deck is Relax. There is plenty of time to do and achieve all you desire. Place your hands gently on your heart and allow your breath to guide you to a quiet space within. Imagine yourself bathed in golden light flowing from the eternal heart of God. I, your guardian angel, am here with you. Allow me into your heart. You will accomplish more by focusing on that which is most important in life, and that is love. I think someone has a lot of high-strung anxiety right now that's listening to this, and I think, don't we all, in a way? Aquarius energy has a tendency to do that to people. But it's beautiful, and I'm excited to see what the Let Go cards have to say, because I feel like that's going to be like the final cherry on top when it comes to what we're all being called to collectively release for this full moon in Leo, right? And these cards are so cute, literally. Look at the size of them. They're so cute. Let us take a look. So what are we being called to collectively release for this full moon in Leo? What are we being called to collectively release for this full moon in Leo? Beautiful. And here. So the two cards. This is so funny. When I was setting up my space to do this ceremony, I kept, like, for some reason this card kept popping out, and it's the same card that came out right now. So I'm just kind of tripped out by it. So it says, okay. You are willing and able and won't give in or stop hoping. Enjoy your journey to love. I think that this is kind of a call for you to stop giving up on yourself so fast. If you have ever started doubting yourself and thought, oh, because it didn't happen this one time, that it's an inevitable doom thing, like, that's not true. I think that we're all being encouraged to get back up into something or go back into something that we thought didn't work out for us the first time around, when in reality it's because we were learning something, and we were still in a process of, I guess you could say, metamorphosizing to actually align with the energy we were meant to step into, so that now once we do it this time and we don't give up on ourselves and we do it and we tread and we persevere and we believe in ourselves, that's when you're going to get it right. And all these cards keep pointing to that. We all have a superpower inside of us, and our superpower is will, free will, right? And with free will, we have an opportunity to decide if we want to stay the same or if we are going to allow ourselves to continue to evolve and get to where we want to be. Because we all have a dream life, right? I bet if I encouraged you all to close your eyes right now and ask yourself, where would I really want to be right now? You guys are going to have, in the snap of my fingers, you're going to have that little vision in your head. What if I told you you can get there right now? But how would you have to, what type of energy would you have to embody to be there? What traits would this version of you have? What do you hold now inside of you that you know for a fact does not belong in the version of you that is needed right now to get to that end goal for yourself? How can we get there sooner, though, is the most important question. And it's only if we are willing to do the work and show up and release. The last card we have here before we dive into the guided visualization practice is your glass is always refillable. Flow like water instead of holding on to perceptions. Ooh, someone's getting called out. I don't know who it is, but maybe it's all of us. Yes. Your glass is always refillable. Flow like water instead of holding on to perceptions. There's like a play on words with that card. I'm really trying to sit with it. I do feel like there is a need to hold on to some sort of way of doing things or living life, and we're all being encouraged as a collective to release that need to always be in control, to always have the upper hand on something. It's like, okay, this is a really weird idea I'm getting in my head, but I genuinely believe when I get these weird ideas, that's source giving me a downloaded message to share. So I'm picturing somebody who has plan A, plan B, they have a plan C, they have a plan D. They have all these different plans set up in case some scenario happens, in case they need to use either one of them. But then there's always going to be that one scenario that you will never expect, that you will never see coming, and you're not going to have a plan for that. But when you don't have a plan, you get to trust yourself. You have an opportunity to trust yourself, to show up and make the plan on the spot. Be the plan in the moment and see what happens. See the results you can produce for yourself. But if you don't give yourself the opportunity, if you don't give yourself that chance to step into the unknown and not have that plan, you're never going to get to see the power you truly hold. It's like, at the end of the day, we're all holding ourselves back, right? We literally are. And it's only a matter of once you start trusting and surrender and say, okay, you know what? What would happen if I was 100% me? With the passion, with the fire, with the heart, with the courage, with the boldness, with the bravery to just go out there and be me unapologetically. What could I create then? What could I transform out of my life then? And how can I embody that a little bit more strongly now? Let us see that together. I hope that made sense. I don't think that statement made sense, but let's keep going. Let's unravel that together. Let's continue. But this is where we're going to start moving into the guided visualization practice. I'm just cleaning up my space a little bit. But I actually was planning this visualization practice hours before I started this live stream. And actually, while I was creating it, I was setting it up. It was the first visualization practice that I've created so far doing these live streams that actually made me cry. I started tearing up so hard when I read through this visualization practice because of how much it just felt right to do today. I don't know why, but I just feel so much stress and like heaviness. I don't know if that's a collective thing that I'm sensing, but I just feel like whoever keeps clicking on this or the people that's listening or something, there's so much turmoil and like chaos mentally. And I feel like this visualization practice can really benefit us all right now. Like we need a reminder of that. And we need to have a reclamation process of our truth and our light that we all hold. Okay. So, whenever you get a chance, I am going to encourage you guys to take your last sips of whatever, get yourself situated. If you happen to have anything you can lean back on, that would be preferred, because I want you guys to be in a relaxed state. So, normally when people do visualization practices, they like to sit up. I always encourage people to lean back, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Or if you can actually lie down, even better. I want you guys to let yourself get immersed in this experience, and the only way you can get immersed is if you're not thinking, right? We can't try to be like, oh, I need to be perfect posture right now so I can get this meditation down. Like, no, this is healing. This is called a healing circle. This is called a healing ceremony for a reason, right? So give yourself an opportunity to let loose right now and get yourself nicely situated when you can, beautiful soul. All right, and I'm going to do the same. I'm just moving my candle slightly. Okay. So, wherever you end up finding yourself, the invitation here is to take a deep breath in through your nose, allowing the body to fill up with that air. Holding it at the top for a count of 3, 2, 1, and release it all out the mouth with an HA sound. I invite you to do that 2 more times at your own pace. Remembering as you exhale that HA sound out the mouth, maybe even noticing how your shoulders drop down a little bit closer towards the earth. On your final inhale and exhale, start to notice the sit bones, or whatever is making contact with the earth for you right now. Returning back to your normal breathing. If your eyes are still open, I encourage you to softly close them, or keep a gaze a couple feet in front of you. Somewhere where your eyes can relax in the sockets. And let the weight of the outside world melt away. So if you have to make any final little adjustments to your body and whatever your position you may find yourself, now is the perfect time to do so. Continuing to breathe. At every exhale, see what muscle, what part of your body can release just a little bit more. So as you continue your breathing, see how much more you can let go. Now, with this full moon in Leo, listening to me as I continue to talk here, just stay nice and relaxed. This full moon is calling onto us. It is summoning us to come back to a time in our life that we have experienced where we felt nothing but pure joy and liberation. Above you, the full moon shines a golden light onto us all. And it's calling us back to a part of ourselves that has always been waiting for us to reclaim it. So tonight, you are going on a journey, but not just back in time, but back to a truth within you, a feeling that has always been yours, even if you have forgotten it. And it's the feeling of being completely, unapologetically, and authentically you. So as you continue to breathe, you notice a shimmer of gold behind your eyes. That shimmer of gold tends to widen and expand and grow in front of you, swirling its power. And until then, you realize you are face to face with a golden portal. And this portal was summoned by this full moon for you today. So you can go back to that time of pure truth, of pure light, of pure joy. So you take a deep breath, prepare yourself, and take your steps into that portal. As this is your soul guiding you back to a time in your life where you felt completely untamed, wild-hearted, and free. So as you step through, suddenly, at the other end, you enter into a memory that had you left with so much joy, so much peace, so much freedom and presence and awareness and liveliness. And it was a memory where you were just you. No worries, no what ifs, no fear of rejection. None of that existed in this memory. All you remember was the laughter or the joy or the peace in your heart, the skip in your step. Where are you? What sounds do you hear? What colors do you see? Is there people? Because, lo and behold, there is a person. And that person that you notice right in the corner of your eye happens to be your younger self that experienced that memory. And here they are experiencing it again and again for you to see in all its glory, for you to feel in all its glory. You and your younger self are one and the same. What feelings come up for you while you immerse yourself in this experience all over again? Is there warmth tingling through your body? Is there lightness? Take a deep breath and feel it. This moment of pure freedom, joy, and self-expression. Because it just so happens that what you're experiencing in this memory, it was never lost in you. This joy was always accessible. This feeling of freedom was always accessible. It's just, as life went on, layers got built. And eventually, that light that was held inside of you started to get farther and farther and farther away from your consciousness and your awareness of it. But this memory that you're in shows to you that it was just playing hide and seek. It was never gone. It never left. It was always waiting for you to find it again, to reclaim it. And as you continue to see your inner child there and in all of its glory, you notice everything they feel, you feel in that moment. And with those feelings, this freedom, this joy, what does it reveal to you about who you've always been this entire time? Who have you been? What is your truth? The truth that we are all light. Continuing to breathe. Noticing your younger self. And they finally notice you. And the second you guys make eye contact, take a note of their reaction. What facial expression do they have? What gesture? What is their body language doing? After you see everything that they are letting you see on them, their eyes soften, and you know, because you're feeling an energetic pull, to begin walking towards them. Every step you take closer and closer to them, your heart and your body and your mind feels lighter and lighter and lighter. As if every step you take closer to them, you can feel their aura and how strong and how pure and how bright and how joyous they are. How free, expanded they are. And you're immersing yourself in their energy. So every step you take, it sheds off one layer of guilt, of shame, of fear, of disgust, anything that has just been not serving you. Serving this light that has always been wanting to come out, that you're seeing in front of you as your younger self. Once you've finally made it face to face, you kneel down to your younger self. Their eyes are locked on yours. And you know the question that they are waiting for you to ask them. As you ask it, what do you want me to remember? What do they want to remind you of about your strength, about who you have always been and truly are? What gesture does your inner child make to you? Whether it's putting their hand on your cheek to caress, whether it's handing you something, smiling, whatever it is, embrace it, honor it, because you know that what your inner child has reminded you of, you can now reclaim and embody at this very moment. With the merging of this memory of the past to your present, you are allowing Source to penetrate all the layers that have been building up over your true light at this moment. With the gesture that your inner child made with you, there they broke the barrier that was holding you guys apart for so long. And that brings comfort to you because it helps you realize that they were never gone. They were just waiting for you to find them. You are taking this feeling back with you, back to your reality, back to your timeline. This feeling of joy, of peace, of confidence, liveliness, all of it back to your timeline. And your younger self knows it too. That is what they're so happy they were able to provide you with. And now you know that everything that this experience was meant to provide you with is complete. This full moon summoning is complete. And you're ready to give your younger self one last gesture. But this one is to say goodbye for now. Speak soon. Maybe it's a hug. Maybe it's a handshake, a kiss on the forehead. Whatever it might be, you stand back up and begin your journey back to that portal. And once you make it face to face again with this golden swirling of energy portal, you know that you are taking this light, this joy, this freedom back with you to the other side. Because this freedom has always been yours to claim. You were never meant to dim your light. It's just life happens and we forget what we're really capable of, but not anymore. Meeting your child self reminded you of that. How easy it is to always go back to. We just forgot. And as you make your way through that portal and you finally take your next step out, you're back in your mind's eye. Taking more breathing, inhaling and exhaling. I encourage you to deepen your breath, inhaling and exhale out the mouth. Keeping your eyes closed, maybe start inviting back some small movements into your body to bring awareness back into your body, into the 4D, the 5D, into the material and physical world. And keeping your eyes closed at your own pace, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart or your center, and whatever center might mean for you today. Wherever you find your hands, give yourself a moment to just fully take in that feeling you gained out of this experience. Whether it be joy or more freedom or joy. This light, this radiance, this authenticity shines within you at this moment. You reclaim it and you own it, and you make a promise to yourself that you will never let your light dim again for anybody, for anyone. Giving yourself a moment to thank you for showing up, to thank you for giving yourself this experience, for letting yourself feel these things once more, and most importantly, thanking your younger self, your inner child, for providing you the wisdom. And whenever you're ready, maybe even bringing your hands to prayer or not, relaxing them at your sides. At your own pace, I invite you to softly open your eyes. I send you guys so much unconditional love. I'm so happy that I was able to hold space for you guys during this full moon in Leo, and especially holding space to do a beautiful ceremony like this one and visualization practice. And so after this ceremony, at your own timing, if you would like to reflect deeper, I did come up with some prompts for you guys that you guys can definitely journal about at your own time, which is asking yourself, what memory came up for me during the visualization? Secondly, what did my inner child remind me about myself? And the third prompt you guys can reflect on is, how can I bring more of this feeling into my daily life? Now, there's a little bit of a challenge I wanted to do to you guys for this beautiful full moon in honor of it. Before you go to sleep tonight, do something, even the smallest thing that reconnects you to this feeling of joy that you did get to experience in this visualization. I encourage you guys to connect with anything that you used to do as a kid, or something that just brought so much peace, so much comfort, so much bliss, like that mindless bliss, into your life. Even if it was for a couple minutes, Was it painting? Was it drawing? Was it doodling? Was it dancing? I'm sharing things that I did as a child that brought so much happiness and peace to me, as an example. But just one moment for your inner child today, and to let that moonlight just kind of let yourself bathe in it, in that energy in all its glory. I feel like that will give us all a beautiful opportunity to get to honor this and do everything in our power to really show up for ourselves right now. And before we finish up this ceremony, we close this circle with an affirmation aligned with this full moon in Leo. I wanted to get out, like I told you guys, I waited till the end, one final card, which is a postcard from Spirit. And I love these cards because they literally are postcards and a letter that we're going to get to hear from God, Source, Universe, like I said. Whatever you feel called to connect to, I want you guys to think about that in your mind's eye. And let us see the message, the postcard they want to give to us at this moment before we end this circle. What is coming through from Source? What do we need to hear right now? Okay. So the postcard that we have received, I'm going to read it out loud. And I looked up at my camera and it is 111 the time. So whoever needed to hear that, this is a confirmation, new beginnings. Dear you, you are in such good shape right now that we're all doing a happy dance. In this moment, you have the power to make a choice to get with Spirit and co-create a miracle. You may wonder where this is all going, but if you want to manifest your desires for the highest good, you need to stay focused on the now. All power is in the present moment. Ask yourself, what are your dominant thoughts now? What beliefs are you motivated by? Do you have clarity right now? How is your conscious contact with Source? Are you plugged in, or are you trying to do life all by yourself? Exactly, this entire circle, we were talking about this theme keeps coming up. Get rid of negative energy now. Resentments be gone. Forgiveness and love enter. Please, you can do your life beautifully and create your most powerful future right here, right now, in this moment. Aren't you thrilled to know you have a huge cheering section over here? Love and hugs always. This entire circle was literally all about this exact thing. The fact that we are getting it again in this one postcard is a beautiful confirmation that we are all being called. Sorry, I mixed up two words. We are all being called right now to step into our light, to make something happen that we have been doubting for far too long. So with that, beautiful souls, I really hope that all of this benefited you in every way possible, shape, and form. I wanted to give you guys a closing affirmation that maybe you guys can write down, but I always come up with affirmations that align with the energy of each circle that I do. And with this full moon in Leo, it just felt right to do this one as the ultimate one, which is, I am done hiding and I am ready to be seen. I'm going to repeat it 2 more times. And I encourage anyone to say it in their head or say it out loud with me. I am done hiding and I am ready to be seen. I am done hiding and I am ready to be seen. Yes, you are beautiful. Yes, you are. You're ready to be seen right now in all your glory. And this was such an honor to be able to hold a space for you guys. I do want to mention that if you guys did happen to enjoy this beautiful ceremony, just know that I do plan on hopping back up on here February 27th, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in honor of the upcoming new moon in Pisces that we're going to be having, I think, in 2-ish weeks from now. So hopefully I will get to see you there. But I really hope that this entire ceremony benefits you guys. I send you all so much unconditional love. Remember, again, if you don't have time to listen to it, if you're just joining me now, you have 5 days in total to honor this energy of full moon, okay? So you can always rewatch the replay of this live whenever you get a chance to and still take advantage of it. I just highly recommend that you guys do it during the first 5 days or the next 5 days when you get a chance, okay? With that, this is Ahimsa here. It was a pleasure to be able to show up here as my authentic raw self today. And I hope you guys all have a beautiful rest of your evening.